There we go.
I was born ready.
I hope the stream caught that.
Maybe it did. Are we live?
Live.
I am verifying that I see the comments if we're live. My thing's not up to date. That's weird. There it is.
It said we had one waiting. I believe it was you.
Welcome, Internet. Welcome back to Only Cops. We are live once again here for our weekly podcast. Bill has worked diligently to make sure that we have some cool, fun stuff to talk about. And I think we have YouTube clips, TikTok clips, and Instagram clips. I think there's something. We have a mixture here.
We sure do.
So let me just make sure that I can see comments. If you have law enforcement related questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat there. I'll be monitoring that. And Bill will be walking us through this. I'm sure what we can try to make a very educational officer breakdown. So without further ado.
And
Bill,
we're even early. I would just like
we're
everyone
early.
to notice
Hey, shout
that we
out.
are early.
Because I was like 50 minutes late, I swear, like on Tuesday's podcast. Bro, Ready or Not has gotten out of control.
Yes.
The developers there
yes,
were
it
like
has.
trying to pee whack everybody. I haven't had that hard of a time in a minute. So, anyways, we will get started.
Are you ready for some dust training praise?
Oof, I'm ready. I'm about it. Did you say praise? Is that the word that just left your mouth?
Yes.
Oh my.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
It's a graduate of dust training?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, Sean is already in the chat. I came to say hi, and I love you, gentlemen, but I got a date with my wife. Tell the wife.
Good for you,
we all
buddy.
Said hi.
You should just put us on YouTube on your phone so your wife can hear our voices, and then you might get lucky later.
Hey, you might get lucky. I know Bill's voice does something for people. It does something for me, so. Gotten me lucky a few times.
A few times. Here, I'm gonna let you listen to someone's voice that no one is gonna get lucky off of.
I'm ready.
Sir, how are you doing today?
Excellent. And are you a law enforcement officer?
I am. I'm a deputy sheriff.
Okay. And today we trained in the Enforcer Tech system here at Detroit Urban Survival Training. What did you think as a law enforcement professional? What did you think about the training system here that we teach law enforcement officers?
I thought it was spot on. It was very similar to things that we learned in the police academy, DT training, but it even better and even more dialed in. It's amazing. It's something every law enforcement, every LEO needs to come in here and experience for themselves. It's definitely going to amp up your game and make you a more effective officer.
Thank you, sir.
I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling cops stolen valor right now.
Did that feel exploitative to you? To me, this is the beginning of a Pornhub skit or something.
Well, I don't actually believe that guy's a cop.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
I don't.
Maybe. I don't know.
The bracelet, the G-Shock, the thin blue line shirt. You're trying too hard.
Chris, what's going on?
You're trying too hard.
Have fun, boys. Been thinking about y'all the whole time. Sean, I appreciate you stopping by. And Chris, I appreciate you dropping in. If you have any questions, let us know.
I think this is civilian playing cop for clout. Honestly,
I could see that. Shout out to Police Post for sharing this bit of disgustingness on the internet.
And someone come get their future captain. Come on.
Yeah, they're clearly trolling, but I don't know, man. I just. It's got to be. They're on that top tier now of trolling. I think they've fully exhausted.
Are they?
I think they fully. I hope so, man. I don't know.
Are we still believing that they're trolling us?
I will say this though, the guy looks like he's in pretty decent shape. I will give him that. He at least works out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
he's not out of shape. But that being said,
but if he thinks dust training is good training, then
this is like the equivalent of people that have degrees being intelligent. It was a really often misnomer, I have a PhD. Oh, you have a PhD in being a dumbass. This guy, I'm sure I'm not going to say anything disparaging about him because I don't know who he is. He could be a wonderful guy. Heck, he could be a gym bro that's fallen on really hard times and needed that money, and Dust was willing to give it to him to go say this kind of horrendous nonsense.
But you'd have to know, imagine if this was a cop that we knew. I wouldn't let him live it down.
Dude.
Ever.
This is,
Ever.
If you're out there, R.I.P. my dude, R.I.P. Save some poo-tang for the rest of us, I guess.
Yeah,
Goodness
I guess.
gracious. Mike the Cop, shout out, my dude.
So this is just a Mike the Cop rant, but I liked it, so I figured we'll rant right along with him.
Whoa,
Listen
I'm
up. What
about
is
it.
dragging us down in the law enforcement community and in the culture as a whole is not the small minority of people who are abolish the police or cop haters or Antifa or far left ideologues and political pundits. No,
Ideologues.
at least
This guy's
they're
smart.
being honest about what they want. And we can combat that enemy and identify it with the truth because they're out in the open doing it. But what's really the problem, what's really dragging us down is the so-called silent majority. The silent majority who are so comfortable and so complacent that they don't speak up. They know the truth, but they're not saying no. They're not saying no more stupid bail reform, no more mandates that go beyond the bounds of the law, no to politicians invading our departments like a cancer. They need to stand up and have a voice and say no. The silent majority, you are the problem. Stop being silent, take a position, stand up, let your voice be heard. Guys,
So, just to get to Chris, I did see your comment. I love that he said, "I thought it was great. Now, where's my money?" Is incredible, and that's probably spot on for what that last skit
Yeah.
was.
And how much
Chris-
money did you get paid, buddy?
It
That's
better
what I
been
wanna
worth
know.
it, man. It better
It
been
better
worth
been a
it.
lot. Like,
stand up.
whoa.
So, anyways, I think that I'm with you, and Mike the Cop's spot on with this, and I think the problem, the issue he's talking about affects everything, and I think the police issue or the criminal justice system issue affects so few of us in everyday life that why would we care? Like, and I'll be honest with you, that's just me interacting with the public enough to know that if there is a meteorite falling out of the sky, if I didn't know about it, why would I panic about it, kind of thing. And
That's true.
I think that inflation affects us all, but I mean, like, how many people have investments and stuff, and like,
but I think
property
this has been-
taxes really only affects people that own property. Like,
Yeah, but
it's
this has been pushed so much in our faces.
Oh, I agree.
Like,
I'm 110% for what he's saying, and I feel like I'm glad that, especially with the platform that he has, that he's going out and he's saying, hey, like, try to take it back. I mean, screw it. I mean, look at our platform. Like, we have gone in to talk against a lot of these talking points that are being put out there, and a lot of the misinformation that's being put out there. I think,
the M word.
Yeah, I think the sucky, like, hill of Sisyphus or rock of Sisyphus that we have to push up and down is like, I just think so many people will continue to be complacent because it doesn't really affect them on a day-to-day basis. It will eventually, and when it does affect you, it's already too late. But, like, I don't know. I like that he's talking about it, and I think more people need to talk about it that way. But
I think even on his standpoint, like, police officers need to get louder.
I agree.
Like,
yeah, as opposed to just embracing the suck of how shitty their situations
like,
are. Like,
forget having civilians stand up for you. You guys aren't even standing up for yourselves for the most part. So,
and kind of what I got at is, like, if I'm going to have to maybe pay the ultimate price for that institution, I'd want it to be perfect for me.
yes.
Or I'd at least want it to
And that's
make
not that
sense
much to
me
ask.
functionally. It's like, hey, I don't need you. I'm not even asking for more money. I'm just asking for the opportunity to train well, the opportunity to be successful at my job in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
The opportunity to make a positive impact on my community without having to constantly be under the burden of, administrative push and pull. And most of that's ignored for whatever reason that people can come up with. But I'm with him on that.
So,
Shout out to Officer Tatum, one of the OGs here of the interwebs.
I tried to go back and find the rant that he's talking about, but this clip will do.
We do not need to shut down most of lower Manhattan because one cop died for probably doing his job incorrectly. They kill people who are under 22
I heard about this.
every single day for no good reason, and we don't shut down the city for them. So,
So pause it. And I'll do my best to be sensitive about this.
Oh, let her finish. No, she's got some other good things
I'm
to
ready
say.
for it. I'm ready for it.
ridiculous. This is ridiculous. What if somebody's having a heart attack in this area? nobody can get to them because it's all blocked off for one.
All right, let me.
So I don't really care what he says. I'm just gonna put this up while we talk about it.
So
go fuck yourself, bitch.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to this though. So what?
Juan's gonna get real mad because I just said that.
I said something disparaging on the internet. We are part of the majority now. I think it's interesting. There was a lot of people having a similar discussion when we had, as we called it, riot season during 2020. And you would have somebody die committing a violent felony, right? And they would die at the hands of law enforcement. And they burned cities down for that.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, like...
night after night after night.
So I think... I do have some background in this story, and I think that like her acting career's over, and like her agency dropped her and all that kind of stuff.
So what's awesome is the original post that I saw the rant on.
Yeah,
the guy put her name and her employer's phone number in the post, and he was like, "You guys should call her employer and tell them what you think about her post." Yeah. And then within 2 days, she was fired and gone off social media.
And I think this is like in general, if you're going to live in the social, I mean, I'm like clearly in the public eye here. Like when you take such an extreme stance like that, understand there's probably going to be some consequence. For
and you just say outright lies.
Because like it's not that you're not you're entitled to being annoyed about the circumstances, even if you could completely hate law enforcement, right? But like to put that on the internet. Probably not a good idea. Obviously, I think what she said is super distasteful and shitty because somebody died for your safety.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I mean, somebody's committing a violent felony and ended up killing officers. That I mean, where were you when all this stuff's happening? You know, where are you for the victims of domestic assault and all that kind of stuff? But, in general, just be careful what you put out there, boys and girls. Gen Z's wild, dude. And they're not the only ones, but
there's
some
a lot
people,
of wild people right now.
They're willing to have some pretty strong, like completely unbased and unfounded opinions on stuff or takes. They have hot takes in their mind.
Yeah, hot takes.
Be careful with them hot takes. They might get you in hot water. So.
Oh wow, I've got a hot take. I'm gonna share it with my 36 followers.
Jesus. Anyways, we'll keep going.
New at noon, community relations officers made a special visit to UPMC Children's Hospital this morning. They came from more than 30 different police departments to personally deliver police patches and notes of encouragement to a pediatric cancer patient. 8-year-old Joshua Eastman loves to collect the patches and get them in the mail. And today, he got them in person.
Oh, cool.
It meant a lot, I'm sure, to Joshua, but it meant a lot to our family that a lot of people are supporting us through this. He's been through a lot, and he loves police departments, and it meant the world to him.
Absolutely sweet. The officers learned about Josh's love for the badge and patches online. So Officer Joe Risher of the Allegheny County Police Department organized today's event.
What an adorable story.
76
I like these
departments, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's nuts.
Hashtag the privileges of being on day shift.
No kidding.
You have time to do stuff.
Wow,
right?
we are
I think
salty.
it's super cool. Yeah, I'm super salty.
But it is
I'm
cool.
sorry.
Hey, man, our department wrote up 7 people for eating at Dunkin' Donuts, and then 2 weeks later, they made a community policing video at the same Dunkin' Donuts. But one shift was midnights, and one shift was day shift. So
yep,
I'll let you figure that out.
It's a different world, man. I'm sorry that we're a little crusty because we experienced that the first hand. I think it's great to see stuff like that. I think especially when it's you have an opportunity, not necessarily to put just a positive story out there, but to like engage people where they're at. I think this is a pretty big showing of this. There is some of this where it's like, hey, these people are doing this, kind of let me jump on this.
Yeah.
I think the cool stuff is like the small stuff. Yeah, I've seen cops push cars out of the roadway instead of tow them because they realize like these people are indigent and can't do that kind of stuff. Heck, I remember buying food for people or putting gas in someone's tank and stuff like that. There's a lot of small stories that don't make it out to the news, but I think when you're in and around a community enough, you kind of understand when they're hurting or when you can do something other than write tickets and, do regular cop stuff.
Hey, we were Facebook famous there for about a week.
Hey, we were. You know what? Right before we left. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And it wasn't because we did anything like this. It was
no, literally, we just came by and checked on a kid.
Yeah.
And got him some stickers, and it's because he was really cool. He called 911 not on accident. He called 911 inappropriately.
Bro, that would be a good body cam to get. That
would have been. I forgot about while approaching the house. Let's make sure this kid's
is
not
that is that screaming? Do I hear screaming? Yeah, it's from this window.
I literally went from about to kick a door to apologizing for scaring a family. They were really cool about it. They were super cool. But this long story short.
What a day.
Yeah, a kid called 911 who had some MHMR stuff, and he was really awesome. And the parents were super awesome. Ended up being something fun and something we could talk about as opposed to what tends to happen with police encounters.
Yeah,
it's not good. So I'm glad we got to experience, especially for as bad. Our morale we're literally leaving within weeks. Our morale couldn't be lower.
Yeah,
and it was a nice thing to happen. The patrol god smiled on us.
Definitely that day. So this is something that I wish I could have done while we were on patrol.
I'm about it.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Your license is invalid.
Metro to T1 checking on you.
Says you weigh 135.
Savage. Yeah, that's funny. I will say this. I had I think my brother did a ride along.
Yeah.
And one of my other friends did a ride along. Actually, I had two of my friends do ride alongs. But it was one of the things that I always told people is there's this weird part of my life that really like you and I have a ton of memories of being on patrol and stuff like that. But there's this weird part of your life that no one else will understand because they didn't get to live any of it with you. And it's a fun thing to
explain it well. There's no, you don't you can try and explain it, but it doesn't. You're not going to get the full idea of what it was like.
Yeah, it was funny. So my wife never did a ride along, and it's probably for the better. But there was one time she had to give me my phone charger because I forgot to charge my phone, and so she met me while I was still on patrol, and it's the only time she had ever seen me in a uniform, in a patrol car. And I chit chatted with her for a little bit, and then a hot call popped off. The tone came out of the radio, and I was like, "Oh, I love you." I give her a kiss. I jump in my car and I peel out of this parking lot lights and sirens. And she texts me later. She's like, "That was so cool. You just drove super fast." And I was like, "That." It ended up being a bullshit call, anyways, a bullshit e-call.
But yeah, that was every night.
Yeah, that was most nights. Let's be honest. I would say
outside of the season, we won't talk about.
Yeah, it was
pretty much every night.
I would say 70-30. 70% of the time when I went code. It turned out I didn't need to be going code.
Yeah.
And not because I could.
But we always got those calls.
Yeah, but you get those calls, You're like, "Oh my God, it's a shooting in progress," and you're driving over there. But it was funny to see her experience just a small sliver of that, and she's like, "Damn, that's what you do all the time," and I'm like, "Yeah, if anything, that's one of the safer things I'll do."
Yeah. Yes, that is true.
Police posts, shout out.
Yeah, so
this already seems sketchy.
No, it's just a training video. They don't show you the whole video. They're going to show him using his slide lock to reload.
What about it?
Reloading!
Oh, look at that.
Shots fired. One subject down.
So I thought it was cool. And it's just funny because they act like people just think that that's super taboo.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox for 2 seconds here.
Go for it.
So I'm never gonna complain about the training that I got, but this is the one big complaint that we'll get on outside of not having weapon mounted lights. I remember being in academy, and I did some shooting. I don't want to say I was some IDPA high speed low drag guy, but I was familiar with firearms, right? Yeah. And it was myself and a friend of mine who was considerably more, and that's saying something because I'm normally known as the gun nut in my group of friends. But I have one friend that's god tier gun nut. He's about
he was more than familiar. He was
he's more than familiar. I think he even
expertise
has his FFL.
level. Yeah.
Like he's literally like writing training for police departments.
Yeah.
He's a very smart guy. But we talked about tap, rack, bang as a method of clearing malfunctions. And my department was convinced that the only way that you should ever clear a malfunction is to take a knee or move. They used to make us take a knee just to simulate moving, was to fully pull your slide back, use your slide stop lever to lock your slide into place, remove your magazine, reinsert a new magazine or check it and inspect it or whatever, and then slingshot the thing home. They did not want you using that slide stop lever. And I was like, yeah, but that's only if I have what's called a type 2 malfunction. Type 2 malfunction is like a double feed or whatever. I believe it's a type 2. Basically, you have two bullets fighting to go into the same place. It's like the worst kind of malfunction you can have outside of like a stuck casing. And
good luck with that too.
Sure. If that's happening, I have bigger problems, to be honest. But 90% of the time, it's going to be failure to extract or failure to eject or failure to extract. And that's typically fixed with tap, rack, and then bang. It's really, really quick. It takes like half a second. And every single time they bitch at me for doing it, anytime we had to work reloads.
I do remember this.
And every single time I was like, yes, sir. And I went right back to tap, rack, bang. I'm like, I'm not changing that. If I'm going to die on this, I'm not dying with your stupid train. And I, to this day, believe that methodology is the dumbest thing. They're also the same department that, as part of our qualifications, would have us shoot left-handed with both hands.
Yes.
It's the most with a pistol, which is the most
and with a rifle
thing.
You have to do it with your rifle too.
And a rifle, I can understand because it does help a smidge to shoot a little bit left-handed, but in most situations, I'm not going to switch hands. Like to be honest,
if my rifle is out the situation, I don't have time to switch hands.
Well, and what I'm getting at is like there is literally actually John Level just did a video about this, about the worst shooting tips ever, and number 2 was shooting with your left hand with a pistol when you have both hands available. It's like there's zero benefit, but they were like adamant.
And we had to do it
in
like at 3 separate stages, right?
Yes. Like
and they
were adamant
3 different distances.
If I was going to come around a corner on the left side, that I was going to shoot my handgun left-handed with both of my hands available.
No.
I understand one-handed shooting, but two-handed shooting's stupid.
It was dumb.
The dumbest. So I will say this: that video is there because there are people that are like, you should never, you should always, And then my question always to that is, well, what if your left hand is broken or shot off? What are you gonna do? What's it there for?
You should use your pants.
Yeah, you get so many people that are
use your boot.
Yeah, use your boot. Whatever. People are dumb.
So the cop said, I need you to say the alphabet backwards. And I said, are you kidding me? I can't even do that sober.
Magical.
Yikes.
Now, to be fair, I couldn't do it backwards sober.
But also, I'm really confused where this came from. Like, this had to have come from a movie or something where they think this is an actual field sobriety test.
Yeah, no. So some people, I've seen it used forwards. Like they'll pick like
they'll start at one letter and they'll go
G
to the next
to like Z or some shit like that. Yeah, but doing it backwards, tap rack, ready to go, bro. Michael, shout out. I'm glad to see you in the comments, but that's totally the way to do it. Thank you for reaffirmating my ego. Appreciates it. But like, it's not technically part of field sobriety, so it might help you with like reasonable suspicion, but that's not PC for the arrest.
But not backwards, because like
no, not backwards either. Yeah, no.
And I get like start at one letter and go to the other without like singing or finishing the alphabet. Like that's kind of hard. You have to have somewhat of your brain working to do that, but backwards is just
stand by. So apparently, according to Michael, we did shoot BLET left-handed too. Dumb. But they said it would only be used if you were shot in the right arm, in which at that point you'd be effed anyway. Or like I said, one-handed left-handed shooting makes sense. But when I have both hands available to me, they would literally, I kid you not, were both hands, let me see if I can illustrate this. Both hands on the gun, they would make us switch hands to go around another side of the barricade.
Yeah, you had
so stupid. It was so stupid.
Dip the gun and then switch.
They even taught us how to do it as efficiently as possible.
There was no such thing as efficiently.
The most efficient
they gave us
way
like
I could do it.
They gave us like 15 seconds to do it because they knew how slow everyone was going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyways, one time I snuck it in there that I didn't switch, and they didn't notice.
Well, there
And I
was
done
10 of us
super
on the
fast.
line
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah, and there's like 3 of them.
Can't watch everyone do every
So I
single
did
shot.
it just for giggles.
And they
and-
also weren't watching you because
No.
you didn't need help. Like
I
I got stuck in a group with someone who had never shot a gun before, so like I probably got some of the least amount of firearms training.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Rifle
need a
school
bunch
was
of
cool.
help.
I got very
but-
lucky with my rifle school class.
Yeah,
but
rifle
yeah,
school was
my
awesome.
like pistol qualification, like learning,
Yeah,
in
we
academy
got
was a big one.
We were in the bottom percentile of people who actually got instruction.
Michael, thank you also for agreeing with me. Left-handed shooting with 2 hands with a pistol is stupid.
It is stupid.
All right, what is this?
Police posts.
Oof.
Are you serious? I promise you.
Oh my god.
He just tried taking that lady's car. You're joking. I promise you. He tried pulling her out of the car.
He's really running.
Piece of crap, dude. The guy in the
You could at least take a better job videoing.
No kidding.
They legit have this guy.
And then we're gonna pull. You're gonna tase him. They better freaking tase him.
Oof.
I've never heard that in my life. They better tase him. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Are we gonna mount here?
Well, they can't. They're just tool reliant. Hey, the
Hey.
taser worked.
Why the fuck?
Hey, shout out to Taser USA, baby. That taser worked.
I can't believe it worked.
Try to park as soon as you get space. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I like
Hey,
this knee.
shout out
his
to that
knee-
guy. Did you hear what he said?
No.
Hey, go park as soon as you can find a space. I'm gonna go help these guys.
Hell yeah! Shout out to the video. So
Wow.
critique, and I'm sure if producer
impressive.
Juan was watching, he'd be like, "Bro, lower the camera a bit, dude." Like, Juan's got. We'll have producer Juan's reaction to that. He'll make a separate react to the react video.
He's gonna say, "This is trash. I could do better."
Now, but I will say this, and it's an interesting. We were just talking about how normally most police-related things don't affect you, the individual, so you won't care past like having a vague understanding of it. This guy visually watched old boy probably get into a pursuit, nail somebody.
Well, there's like
and then try to pull somebody.
3 or 4 damaged cars in this gas
Yeah,
station.
so
So
someone witnesses what the suspect did, and he's like, "Bro, tase him, bro, do
Yeah.
whatever," because he understands the gravity of the offense that this person's
Yeah.
committing. And what blows my mind oftentimes is like Jacob Blake's a perfect example of this. That he's over there like grabbing knives and beating up
Yeah.
girlfriends and like these are aggravated assaults, and everyone's like shocked. Oh my
yeah,
god!
shocked.
He said he's gonna go get a gun and then actually grabbed a weapon. Like,
I'm shocked sitting here.
you know, you have a better. There's so many other examples where I'm like, yes, you can talk about police misconduct here, or yes, you
Yeah.
can talk about a lack of good tactics there. But like,
Well, and honestly, as impressed as I am that the taser worked, and I'm also impressed that the other officer got away from the guy so he didn't get
that's true.
tased.
That's true.
Bro, work on your empty hand skills, please.
I like how he's got him by the waist, and like training to me is like, bro, you got him there, bro. Just sling him. There's a takedown.
Sling him, dude.
Fling him to the pavement. Achieve top mount, and then there's no taser, no nothing.
Well, and the sad part is they both had hands on him at one point,
Yeah.
and then the
They
guy
let him
backs
get up.
off. Yeah, I mean,
And what I'm getting at is with that hoodie, that taser shouldn't have worked. Like
that's what
literally,
I'm saying. I mean, like
God-
it locked him up.
God or Zeus himself went and grabbed those taser probes and put them perfectly where they were supposed
Like
to go.
locked him up, dude.
I'm shocked. Honestly, a really good thick polo shirt would prevent a taser probe. To be honest,
Yeah,
they're
I
not.
mean, I
great.
think so. It's
They're not- I think the probes are like maybe
they're
like
not thick. Like
an inch and a half deep.
you're talking like a fishing hook at best. Like, and
If
not
he had
good
a shirt
one.
on under that hoodie, he'd have been screwed.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, he would have just ran, and then what? What are they gonna do?
Yeah, unhinged stability. Interesting.
You know why I pulled you over?
Depends on how long you were following me.
Why don't we just take it from the top?
Here goes. I sped. I followed too closely. I ran a stop sign. I almost hit a Chevy. I sped some more. I failed to yield at a crosswalk. I changed lanes in the intersection. I changed lanes without signaling while running a red light and speeding.
Is that all?
No. I have unpaid parking tickets.
You know why?
Name that movie.
It's Liar Liar.
That a boy.
Hey, Jim Carrey.
The only reason I put
love
it
that
in
movie.
there.
I
It was
love
a good
that movie.
clip. So, there's not really a lot to say about it, but it was
now
funny.
I will say this. If and free advice from a former police officer here, if an officer asks you, do you know why I pulled you over? Your response should unequivocally and always be,
no,
officer. I didn't. Every time. Boys and girls, listen. Put it on a shirt. Write it on your hand.
And
I don't know. Put it on a sticky note.
Let's be honest. If they're a good officer, they're not going to do that because
you don't have to.
Silly.
Literally, my 7-step approach to it. Hey, my name's Officer Josh with so and so police department. I pulled you over for.
Yes.
And I would say,
you know why?
Say why I pulled you over.
Because you completely avoid the fight.
Yeah.
Because if you say, do you know why I pulled you over? Nope, not a clue. Why'd you pull me over? Nope, didn't do that. Like, you're just asking for confrontation.
And I've had people say, oh, I didn't do that, or I didn't know that. And I say, I understand that you might not know that. I'm articulating my PC for the stop. They hated me, dude. I was like,
I'm just telling you, you did this. Yeah. I saw it, so here you go.
That was stupid. No. Yeah, the answer is no. Michael, spot on. No, always I do not know why you pulled me over. No. Always no. Always no. Why are you?
But if they're going to ask you like a legitimate question, always tell the truth.
Yeah, don't lie. That's way okay. If you're
saying
talk,
no is not lying.
Yeah. Don't lie. Even if you're guilty, don't lie. It's why I say just shut up.
Yeah.
Because if you start giving information that you cannot corroborate or back up, that is what detectives are going to get you hemmed up on later. It's going to completely poke holes in your testimony for yourself if you're going to defend yourself.
Yeah.
I never ask somebody why I pull them over. I tell them why. Shout out.
That's right.
Michael. It's man after policing. My own heart. Kristen says, don't talk to the police. Why are you talking to Michael?
No kidding. Jeez.
I don't know why my wife used to. See, my wife talks to me now that I'm a civilian. She knew better.
That's weird, right? I've had way more conversations now that I'm not a cop.
Yeah, it's true.
I should go back to being a cop because I hate conversations.
Yeah, I don't like people. Right.
Here's a heartwarming video out of Canada.
I'm about it. While bringing boxes of hot food to the truck. Oh, look at that! Community policing at its finest, baby. How'd they get hot food? Is it like insulated boxes?
Looks like it.
I have questions.
Or they just brought it from a restaurant.
God bless anyone north of like the Red River because you're probably getting dunked on right now with snow. Yeah. Hey, but shout out to that. These guys see that the community's doing something, and they decided to support them in that. I shout out to them.
Well, and it kind of doubles back on what Mike the cop said. Like,
yeah,
you don't have to be the only person fighting the fight, but you also don't have to be a dick. Like,
agreed. Do you know why I ran the stop sign, Chris?
I'm assuming you were in a hurry.
I talked to Michael because I like him. I like Michael too. He's the best.
Badge bunny.
Not the best at Ready or Not, but he is the best otherwise.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear all that shit talking that was done in the comments when Michael plays the updated version.
I tell you what, the updated version, man, I haven't been screwed that hard since I was a cop by my administrators. That was a hard.
Yeah, dude, it's been like
the devs
2 years.
They were out for blood.
You were fully, you were fully healed up and finally starting to feel normal again.
Yeah, there it is.
And
there it is.
It was gone.
Re-traumatized all over again.
So this grandmother is my spirit animal.
Pay for that? Huh? You gonna pay for that? Yeah. When? Huh? You gonna pay
he
for
said
it?
When.
Watch this.
Oh!
Come on, bud. Come on.
Get out.
Come on.
Get out. Get out.
Take your shit and go. Fuck off.
You just jack up the price for everybody else because of you assholes.
Respect. Respect. Put some respect on that name. I tell you what. If somebody can get me, and direct messages, don't dox this lady, but if somebody can get me contact information for this grandma, I will personally buy her an Only Cop shirt. That's incredible.
Dude. Yeah.
She's my hero.
She's incredible.
She should be everyone's hero.
She's incredible.
There was more command presence in that old lady.
Oh,
than
dude.
Both of those cops trying to take old boy.
Well, Yeah, that's true. She like pushed her cart in front of his cart, and she said "excuse me" at first, and then it was all downhill from there.
It was all no, fuck that. Let's see. Michael says he'll own it. Apparently, I'm not a badge bunny. It's fine. My wife, I guess, no. My wife and I got married prior to me becoming a police officer, so she gets to avoid the moniker.
Yeah.
We should call. So what would you would you be a scrub jumper? If it's a badge bunny, are you a scrub? Can we make that a thing?
No, I was a cop when we got married, so she was a badge bunny, and I'll admit it. I don't care.
Hey, but he was real suave. We might do a really cute story time for our Patreon subs
we'll see.
on Bill's game on how he picked up his wife in a hospital in uniform. Anyways.
Yeah, I guess it was in uniform. That was the only time I went to the hospital, so.
Bro, is this number for the last like 3 weeks?
Well, this is the one where the cops shot the cop.
Fuck. Oh, this was the one where there was a robbery happening in his house or whatever.
So yeah, police officer Donald Cejudo was inadvertently shot and killed by Clark County Sheriff's Office deputy while attempting to apprehend a robbery suspect who was attempting to break into his home. So the suspect fled after robbing a gas station. So fled police, I'm assuming. Officers used spike strips to immobilize the car. The suspect was able to flee on foot. As deputies were searching, a woman called 911 reporting that a man fit the robbery suspect's description and pounded on her front door asking for help and claimed that he had been involved in a collision. She told Call Take her husband was an off-duty officer and had gone outside to detain the man. The suspect and Officer Cejudo became engaged in a struggle during which Officer Cejudo was stabbed several times and dropped his firearm. Bro, the suspect broke free and began running towards the house, Officer Cejudo's house. Officer Cejudo retrieved his firearm and ran after the suspect. As Clark County deputies arrived, one of the deputies perceived Officer Cejudo as an armed suspect and shot him, not realizing he was an officer and the homeowner. Suspect was taken into custody without further incident, charged with attempted, I'm assuming it says first degree murder. I can't read the bottom of it, but
yeah, bro, I don't know, man. Ugh.
That's fucked.
That's pretty fucked. I'm trying to like have a takeaway here. Now I'll say this.
It bothers me a lot that she told Call Take that her husband was an off-duty cop and they just get on scene and start shooting. Like,
yeah,
you've got to be smarter than that.
Yeah. Well, and then some of that gets lost in translation. Like some of that, like if Call Take doesn't go out and like put that over the radio,
dude. But that
especially for like 1034 traffic or something like that. But
you know, if it's a cop that's calling, they're gonna say, "Hey," like that's the first thing that's gonna come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Like there might be some inconsistencies in like what's going on, but they're gonna say, "This guy's a cop." Like.
Well, and I'll even say this, that like there's a homeowner involved. Even just that, like you have an innocent third party involved in trying to detain somebody. I get that this guy was in law enforcement. You know, obviously, as far as him trying to take it upon himself to go and try to put this guy into custody. In general, just as like a takeaway point from this, I'm not going to sit there and say anything negative about an officer that died, but like. Man, unless you have numbers, I'm probably not trying to detain a dude like that. And I'm probably for sure not putting hands on somebody that's involved in that kind of nonsense.
My thing is, are you even going to answer the door? Like,
oh, no. Yeah. Wait, and honestly,
I wouldn't be answering the door. Yeah, you know what I mean?
So you should, in general, for like personal safety reasons, just for everybody, your door is your safety. Now, if you think that it's like some 6-year-old kid and they're like getting kidnapped or something, use your best judgment.
Way different. But if it's a grown man pounding on my door saying, "Oh, I was in a car accident," well, where's your car, bud? Because
and honestly, are you equipped to help this person? If this guy's having a medical emergency, call 911.
Yeah.
Notify. Say, "Hey, I'm getting emergency services to you." If he needs emergency services, he's going to wait there.
Yeah.
If he doesn't need emergency services, he's probably going to move on.
And he can wait there outside of your door while it's still closed.
Sure. So I don't know. Your house is your refuge. It sucks that he had to lose his life like that. That's really shitty. And that's for anybody. He's not the first innocent bystander injured by officers responding to a scene. You don't want to make it, no matter what your participation is in a call that eventually leads to law enforcement intervention, you do not want to leave it up to their imagination as to who you are and whether or not you pose a threat to them.
Yeah, and it sucks. I mean,
yeah.
Imagine being the cops coming up to that scene and you're in like an active pursuit with someone who just robbed a gas station and fled a vehicle after spike strips, and then you see a guy with a gun and you're like, here we go. Sucks.
Michael said grandma's gangsta. Shout out that grandma is gangsta. And then Kristen is defending her Badge Bunny honor by saying met him when he was not in uniform. I think you could feel that first responder energy.
Was he a cop at the time though? Like, just because he wasn't in uniform doesn't. I'm still. I think it still counts.
It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But look, on Only Cops, we of all people are not going to be saying anything negative about badge bunnies. I'm just saying.
We are badge bunnies now.
I'm effectively a badge bunny now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm simping for cops.
Yeah. Especially Mike, the
Especially
cop.
Mike, the cop.
Edward David Henry 9864. Stand in front of your car.
I'm really sorry.
Okay. What's going on tonight?
Well, I'll tell you, everything's going wrong.
Oh, come on over here so we don't get hit.
Look at that.
I know for now.
I'm like almost 79
Sure.
years old. And my wife's real sick. And my son's mentally ill.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
I really try to drive right. And I bought a television today because I want to make my wife happy, you know. And I can't get it hooked up. So I went up to Fort Myers here. Try to tell me how to do it, you know.
Sure.
And I vote for you guys all the time. Always want.
Right on. Where do you live at?
For you. Sterling Heights.
Where at?
Cheviot Drive.
Where's that at?
South of 17.
Okay.
Right by the Fairfield Park.
What are you trying to hook up? Like, what's wrong? How can you not hook it up?
I bought a television set, 50-inch.
Right.
And I got one an old television.
Okay.
You know.
So what's wrong with it though? Like, why wouldn't it work?
I don't know what to do because the old TVs, the old tube type things.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Kristen says badge bunnies just date cops.
Well,
He's the only cop I've dated. So you're dating a cop. By your own definition, you're bad. But come on, man.
Did you try
come on,
plugging
Kristen.
it into the back?
We're not mad about it.
Is the TV in the living room that you're trying to hook up, or where is it?
It's in my family room.
Okay. I was saying, I might be, if I'm not busy, I might be able to stop by and help you.
Was he helping later?
What
I don't
else
know.
did you do?
I haven't watched this whole video.
I don't have no other cords to put in.
But
That's what I thought I was going to do, buy some cords.
Yeah, so it depends on the TV. My partner's real good at electronics.
My partner.
If you want.
Immediately volunteering someone else.
Can I do that?
Well, I can take yours. I don't know if I'm going to be busy or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's your number? What time are you going to be home?
Pause it real quick.
Well, I'm just going to stop in here.
So according to the chat, the plot thickens here. Apparently, Michael's day shift sergeant is the one that hooked him up. Oh, it was a blind date. So the day shift sergeant knew her, and she had to have known he was a cop. And so even if he didn't know, or she didn't know that Michael was a cop was involved. Just saying, it's
Badge Bunny.
It's
sorry, dude.
Badge Bunny.
I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna go back to this heartwarming video because
we're back.
That's enough about that Badge Bunny situation.
Okay. What? Hold on a second. There's a police run coming.
It's like, what time is it now? 7:39. I'll be home by 8:30.
Okay. What's your phone number?
586.
Get out. Does he really help him? This makes me happy if he does.
I think so.
586. You know, I had this thing for so many years, and I don't know how.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous.
No, don't be nervous.
I'm nervous. Aren't we all?
Hey, man, that's awesome. I tell you what, I've walked.
Okay, won't control that
He
one.
did
Let's
go
talk
back.
to them
That makes
and
me
help
happy.
you reprogram it. Okay.
Okay. That sounds good. All right, cool. There you go. Hey, I appreciate these.
Yep.
So,
good for that guy.
And I will say this is the one weird, you sit at a weird crossroads in law enforcement where you're like part lawyer, part security guard, and like part social worker. I think that's like kind of most of the umbrellas that we kind of fit under. If it's like in a medical emergency, heck, I've administered medical care to a person before.
Because we're usually the first ones there.
Quite literally a first responder, so you're typically the first one there. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's a when you're unencumbered and you have time to do stuff like that, and especially if you have someone that's like really needs the help, and obviously it matters to them and it means something to them that you're able to provide that. It's a really good feeling. It didn't happen often enough because the city we worked in kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But the few times that it did happen, even just getting someone a ride or making someone feel safe. Heck, we found people lost in the park half the time.
Oh yeah,
and
those calls came in a lot.
Yeah, and just go checking and making sure they're okay. Or
you found that lady walking down the highway with a houseplant.
Oh, that's man. She walked all the way from. She walked
far,
15 miles.
Far.
She was gone for like a whole. I just remember coming to briefing.
Yeah, we came in and it was like, I think there was day shift officers working that call.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was I won't take full credit. I was in the right area, and there was a rookie that happened to see her, and we both like found her and got a hold of her. And I can't tell you not.
We don't give rookies any credit. Okay,
we don't give them credit for anything. But she was about to like correct, like the ladies about how we found her, and I was like, "Hey, shut your mouth. Just take your credit and be done with it, or whatever." She was about to be like, "Well, Silva told me to look over here," and I was like, "No, shut up."
Can't even take your own credit. Just shut up and say thank you.
It literally, every single administrator within like a 10-mile radius came to go hand this lady off to the family. And I'm like, bro, we could have done this ourselves, but they wanted to like.
I'm surprised they didn't call the news.
I think they tried to. I really think they tried to. There was a certain.
And then the news was like, "Oh, you already found her? Yeah, we don't care."
There was a certain deputy chief that liked to randomly volunteer officers that they were going to lose their days off, even though they're not in trouble. That decided that he wanted to make it about him, which was fun for me. You could imagine, but I'm not salty.
He was awesome, dude.
Michael saying "I love you, baby" to Kristen. Hey, we all love us. We love everybody here collectively. Love is abundant today. Stockton. Oof, this is probably not going to go well.
Yeah.
North American Rescue. Shout out, my dear. I like these guys. They share a lot of
stuff. Some graphic stuff, but they have some good stuff.
Jesus.
So
I just read this. Goodness gracious.
We lost a hero. So
I tell you what,
firefighter was shot.
So like, it hits me in a certain personal way to watch. Obviously, officers get hit in the line of duty or pass away, but like, you have to be a special piece of shit to shoot a firefighter. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't care what the circumstances are. Like, you got to be an extra spicy piece of shit.
Well, yeah, like, how dare you come and try and put my house out while
that's what I mean. Like,
flames to the ground. How dare you?
Like, they don't detain anyone. Heck, they're not even like when we do NEDs. Like when we have to like detain. That's true. That's not. Wait a minute. There's some. That's true. There's that one guy.
But for the most part.
Yeah, 99.9% of the time, they're not putting hands on you.
No.
They don't take part in any kind of detentions. Like, firefighters are genuine. I mean, that'd be like trying to shoot EMS, dude. Like,
well, that happens too sometimes.
Yeah,
but...
no, I've seen it. There was a guy, I think it was in Houston, that there was a guy that was ODing on fentanyl, and the officers didn't realize that he had a gun on him. He got up and he shot a firefighter and he killed him. Damn. And I remember them showing us that in an in-service that we did. I don't remember when the call was, but I watched it in like 2019, 2020, and it was rough. Yeah, you're a special piece of shit. Like, I won't apologize for that.
Yeah. Agreed.
Body-worn camera, Officer Downing. So Downing in pursuit, stop sign at the point. Downing had alerted. Chris Johnson grabbed his gun, discharged service weapon.
So the suspect gets the gun off of one of the officers. So
that's a bad day. Get that old style.
Old, dude.
Stop, please!
Super old. Ooh, right into traffic.
34Z, full pursuit, northbound 54.
I'll tell you what, these guys are quick.
Yeah.
Get on the ground! Get on your back! Get on your back! Get on your back! Get up! Cover now! Get on your fucking belly! Get on the ground!
Oh, here's where expensive holster matters, dude. As much as people might not like this, this is where a VNR makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
To be honest.
As long as you know how to do it.
Shoot him!
Holy
Jesus.
434Z, shots fired. Stay on the ground!
Bro. He's not getting off the ground.
No, he's not getting off the ground. Jesus, I did not see this beforehand. Sorry for anybody watching that. There's no trigger warning there.
I guess I should have watched this one.
Goodness gracious.
Yikes.
We might get pee-pee whacked by
started.
YouTube for that.
Suspect has one gunshot wound to the head.
Oof.
It's 50 minutes into our stream.
Not to be sensitive, but that's not a wound you can tourniquet.
Man. Oh, firm.
Freeze frame, body worn camera video. It shows officer was holding a holstered gun in which was being ripped off the belt. Man, I tell you what, here's where... Oh, yeah, sure enough.
Oh, wow. He pulled the whole holster off.
He got the whole thing off.
Oh, look, it's one of those.
Yeah. This is a Safariland UBL. His like actual holster mount here on the left-hand side. This looks like a Safariland holster.
But look at that. He ripped the whole
coupling
yeah.
off. Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, probably saved those officers from taking one was that it actually stayed in the... Shout out to Safariland. It stayed in the holster, but...
Yeah, but imagine
what a lot of... And I'll get at this, like, what a lot of people don't realize is, like... And I always tell this... From a cop perspective, every situation you are bringing a gun to it. And so, like, that's something you kind of have to be conscientious of. And a lot of times when I see jiu-jitsu people talk about law enforcement related stuff and they're like in a gi, like on a mat, it's one of the reasons why we have some plans to talk about this we're going to do specific factor cap on Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Can I do this in gear? Like safely
factor cap.
if I don't get to grab a gi and I have to have a belt and a vest on.
Yeah.
But
if I'm not in my jiu-jitsu attire.
Yeah, but like if you're adding hip pressure to a guy to try to keep him pinned, you're giving him your taser, you're giving him your cuffs.
Well, and they weren't like
spray.
They weren't in a terrible position. I mean,
no,
they didn't have a lot of control on him.
Yeah,
but he was at least still on the ground.
Yeah, I was about to say they kept up with him. That's a huge fitness thing that they were able to bail out of this car and stay with this guy, and then eventually get him to the ground, and then do top nice for Chris. He said natural selection. I'm not going to disagree. You're like, and it's kind of, and again, for the civilians that are eventually maybe watch this, like, you are actively resisting, and at that point, assaultively resisting an officer to the point where you're grabbing a gun.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say the actions were wrong, but
that's what I'm getting at. Could you have a conversation about making sure that your gear won't fail? Sure. I don't think this is on these officers. They did everything they could to try to keep this guy under control, and literally, it got as far as not just him grabbing the gun, he physically removed the gun from that guy's belt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There must have been some pretty heavy pressure put on that thing to make that holster fail in that way.
Yeah, especially like the screw threads on a Safariland. It's like a steel screw. There's 3 of them that you have to defeat to get to that. I mean,
well, and maybe the plastic broke, like maybe where it slides in. The plastic
that's a possibility.
broke.
That looked like it was just the coupling. That kind of goes on there. It's not like the ALS system where it's like a clamp. There's also a conversation I'll have about that as far as duty gear is concerned. Why I would not be for a quick detach system, because it can fail if it's just plastic holding your gun together.
Yes.
I was lucky enough that most of the like gnarly getting on the ground kind of fights I had, I wasn't in by myself, and I didn't have somebody that motivated to go for my gun, or I was lucky enough to quickly control him. But that's pretty sketchy. That's crazy. How old was that holster? I wonder. I mean, that had the top hood on it. That looks like the newer UBLs. Like it's not like the old school leather kind.
Yeah, I can't imagine that was that old. I mean,
well, and honestly, the issue with the way some of those systems work is it's metal on plastic, and it's not a terribly thick piece of plastic either. And you're talking about screw threads. You're maybe talking about like a quarter inch worth of like screw threads that are holding it on to your belt.
Just think about our holsters though, and how much like pressure and movement they got just from getting in and out of a car. Like if our holsters had like a quick detach, I bet it would have failed every couple of years.
My what's it called? My radio. I had a Motorola radio, and it had my very first holster that was issued to me interacted with that little plastic one, and it was terrible. It
I broke
fell
like
off
3
my
of those.
belt. Yeah, it fell off my belt at least 4 times while on duty. I like drove to GT Distributors. Shout out to GT Distributors. But I drove there and was like, I need a radio holder. I ended up buying like the Belanchi
the
leather
nice
ones,
one.
and that thing was bomb proof. That thing.
Yeah, because it
I
had
had
like 2 attachment points as opposed to your radio slides into this plastic holster, which then has a plastic clip that is just supposed to clip on your belt, but moves just like this. Like, they sucked. They're cheap.
Yeah, I think it was those were like Kydex reinforced leather. It was pretty impressive. It was a very impressive system, but like your gear can fail, and if it's one of the reasons why I don't like batons for patrol at this point. I was like, when I can have a glass breaker
in your pocket, you can have a glass breaker in your pocket.
Like I really don't see any use for them because they can't just be used. If it falls off of me in the middle of rolling around with somebody and he grabs it, I have to shoot him in the head.
After I saw a former midnight coworker of ours keep his off of his belt and in his car, I just started leaving mine in my bag.
Hey man, hey, it's me with my ghetto rig tape switch.
I still had the holster, the baton holster. I just put my flashlight in it instead.
Hey, man. Shout out to those senior. I will say if someone made it this far, and it's a senior officer that happens to make it this far that knew me and worked with me, just know that I still admire you just as much now as a civilian as I did on the street. You know who you are.
I agree.
You know who you are. But there
was
a handful.
I might admire you more.
Yeah, there was a handful of officers out there that were really like super bad at, like made me better at my job, but also like helped me appreciate why experience matters and like why like they were able to cut through all the political bullshit of the job and do the job effectively. I thought it was really awesome.
Yeah.
So anyways, if they make it this far.
How you doing, ma'am? Where are you trying to get to? You want to ride? Come on.
Stand by. Pause it real quick. Apparently from TikTok, producer Juan figured out how to get our TikTok live. So we're streaming live on TikTok. Shout out to that audience.
Nice.
Kings of the Service Dog says lots of officers don't use blue Loctite on their screws. I don't think the holster coming out had anything to do with the screws walking themselves out. I think it got sheared off because the way it came off with everything together, if it was a Loctite issue, that typically will happen with like vibrations and things of that nature, like working it loose, and that's what Loctite's supposed to prevent. I guarantee you that sheared right off because all 3 wouldn't have come off at the same time. Yeah,
but,
all 3 wouldn't come off.
Hey, shout out to our department for doing that to our screws on our holsters.
Bro, and they like put them in with like an impact wrench.
Well, and every time you got your holster adjusted, they put more blue Loctite on there also.
Yeah, if it had to come off, they were blue Loctite. And as much as I want to shit on, we had Serpa holsters from Blackhawk, and as much as I hated the release mechanism, it was literally like a half-inch thick piece of Kydex holding it wasn't going to come off my belt.
No, it was not going to get ripped off the belt, that's for sure. But if you could figure out how to get the gun out, it's going to come out pretty easy.
It was a pretty decent holster for what it was. Are there better ones out there? Absolutely. And I think there was better ways to run a pistol on your waist, but it is what it is. Shout out to the bot in the chat. Wow, that's funny. TikTok. I'm here, boys. I'm here. Hey, what's going on? We have. I think he's the guy with the giraffe thing. If he's watching this on TikTok, what's going on? I'm seeing this on the YouTube chat, so I can't see.
Yeah.
Producer Juan's keeping it in there. Yes, Sean. Oh, Sean popped in to he caught the
on his
Serpa
date.
holster thing. Yeah,
Hey.
bro. Shout out to Sean.
He's got like one AirPod in, listening to the boys.
Yeah, dude, the Serpa holsters were pretty cancerous. I got really good with them because that's what we had and we were issued that. But like,
yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't bad.
I definitely understand the arguments against it because having like that, I had maybe had twice where like I was never worried about shooting myself. I was worried about the gun getting stuck in the holster. Because if you yanked on that thing and you didn't fully really press on that, it was sketchy.
I can see that.
It only happened to me twice, but both times it happened.
But hey, it's better than just like a regular leather holster that has no locking mechanism. So
yeah.
And you still see people rolling around with those. So
oh yeah, he said Sean says that his wife is busy right now. I'll probably leave again soon. Sean, we are just happy that you blessed us with your presence for as much time as we get. We're not picky.
It's very true.
Keep going.
You're very welcome.
I was giving her a ride.
Listen to this.
Oh, really?
Gets better.
I want to give her, hey. You're welcome. Hey, come here. I'll give you my credit card. Go get her a birthday cake with a #1 candle.
Let's see if they got any in there.
Okay. Your baby just turned 1 today? Boy or girl?
Hey, shout out with these explorers here.
Yeah.
You want to see her? Yeah. Actually, we got a little surprise, so just give me a second. Awesome. Thank you, Officer Wilson. Not a problem.
Oh.
There's her cake.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can we say hi?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Can I give you a hug? Hi.
Oh.
How are you? Oh, big hugs. Hi, Tiara. Is your birthday? Yes. You're so cute. Hi.
The baby's like,
whoa. He's a cute little stinker, man. What a cutie patootie.
Mom doesn't do that. There we go. Happy birthday to you.
So if that doesn't remind you of 80% of the homes that we went into.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to that. That's pretty awesome, though. And I will say this, like, I understand. Let's see. Let me keep up with the chat real quick. I tell drunk people I'm giving them a ride, and they're surprised when they end up in jail.
Jeez.
I took it was a drunk, but I knew he was going to be combative if I wasn't suave about it. It was a domestic assault suspect. And I was like, look, bro, let me just take you to your homie's house. And he was, because he told me straight up, he's like, bro, if you try to arrest me, I'm going to fight you. And I was like, nah, dude, I'm just taking you to your homie's house. I don't remember who was my back on that.
It wasn't
and
me.
He was like, I bet. And so I said, but my sergeant's outside. And if I don't have you handcuffed, he's going to get really pissed. He's like, well, I'm not letting you handcuff me. He's like, no, dude, like, just help me finesse it past my sergeant, who totally wasn't there. And I'll make sure you get to your homie's house. And he let me put on the handcuffs, and we walked him out. And we showed up at the jail, and he fought us at that point. But I got to the jail. That's what mattered.
Fuck
Reaper 338, bro. Shout out to Reaper, my guy. We had a bunch get stuck in the. Dude, that's Serpas. Like I said, it's literally right as you yank on it. And the problem is we also did not, and it was a mid-rise holster, but we did not have leg straps.
Yeah,
so what happened is that the holster was like super hard, and you're basically shoving it in your ribs. Hey, shout out. Hey. The only time it was getting shoved in anyone's ribs, but he's not wearing his traffic vest. That's a write-up. Wow, that's troll. Unauthorized.
You know, this is the problem with your admin skits.
I have destroyed our TikTok audience is pretty cancerous. Sean says verbal judo strikes again.
I can appreciate that, but
I appreciate that, but fucking hate that class. I will talk shit about verbal judo for the rest of forever. That's hilarious. He said unauthorized hug. What have I done to you people?
My God,
I've really hurt our TikTok audience.
Wow.
Okay, I'm about it.
So this is gonna be speaking of like an admin skit, this guy's you right here, and then these are all of your officers who have some complaints.
We stay focused. We continue to do the job and the mission that we signed up for. Right? We all signed up for it. We all raised our hand.
To defend the Constitution, not the
It's not hard to say it. It may be hard for you to say it, but I've been doing this for 31 years. It's not hard for me to say it. Every day I wake up and I'm committed to this organization and I'm committed to each one of y'all. You're getting bogged down in the policies of the politics.
Say illegal alien.
What's that?
You can't even say that. That's why Chief Scott left.
You just said it.
You can't.
Is anything going to happen to you? You just said it.
The whole generation.
Why are you guys getting caught up in semantics? Right? There's a mission out there to be. There's a mission out there to be had, guys. We can sit here and argue about it till we're blue in the face. Right? I've been doing this job. We stay focused. We continue.
That guy sucks. Like, that's a good way to lose all respect you have from your subordinates.
And it happened, dude, all the time. It's
Did
like,
this not sound like the same speech we got? Like,
you know how I'm gonna make everyone feel better? I'm gonna go bring them all into a room and bitch at them. Like, that's literally
and not even constructively. I'm gonna like black and white policy their ass. Like, this is what you're gonna do because that's what it says, and you don't have a choice. Ha.
And like it was like
they couldn't even talk. He wouldn't even let them talk.
No,
he just yelled.
And like it was weird. It was weird to get like the email. So we'd get emails for policy updates. A lot of times we're a pretty big department, and so you get like an email, and you're supposed to read like a 50-page document, and there's like maybe 2 or 3 adjustments to it. So you'd scroll until you saw like the red. And the policy
they would at least highlight it.
They at least highlighted it, so that was nice. But so these came out like all the time,
monthly, like,
and they would sometimes weekly. I mean, I remember just getting. I mean, like, done. When it was like
when the thing that won't be spoken about happened, they were weekly.
Yeah. So they Boom 11 showed up. He did not mess up the streak. He did mess up the streak by being late. I will say.
Yeah, that's not a first streak. The first streak is.
Oh, thank God! TikTok is big stupid. They don't want to get canceled. Yeah, they can't see our YouTube comments. Thank God.
Yeah.
But anyways, we would get these policy updates, and they'd come in email form, and we'd all grumble about them because it'd be something stupid. Like one of the ones that really killed me was like if you were adding yourself to a call, and so like it could be shooting in progress, something crazy, right? And if you added yourself to a call, they wanted you to verbally say it over the radio. And if you didn't, it was a write-up, like automatic, like zero tolerance write-up. And so and I don't remember why this ended up being a thing. I'm sure someone got mad about something, whatever, somewhere. Some administrator felt
someone got mad.
And so you as the officer hit the red button or call 1034 traffic over the radio. You're in the middle of a fight, and it was during the fun season that was, 2020. And you might sit there and be like, I need EMS. I mean, you're trying to key up on the radio, and you had all the rookies. Oh, this is 234. I'm en route to the call.
Yeah.
Actually complying with said policy.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, my radio's used. I might as well just throw my radio across the thing because of policy.
And we had 7 rookies on one shift, and they all wanted to jump every call, and they all got on the radio. Oh my God!
So it wasn't. That's one that I'm specifically like referencing here, but it was like all the time. So you just kind of became a subject matter expert. It's just fuck it, I'm not doing it. Like whatever it is, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And then when it came time for the paperwork, they'd be like, "Well, you signed this box here that said you read this thing." Yep, sure did. Dumb. Whatever.
I can't see thee, but they clearly can hear. I'm sorry. I'll be careful about reading the comments. Josh, please read my comments before saying them.
Was that Sean?
Yeah, it's Sean.
I read Sean's comment
on TikTok. He's trying to get.
I read Sean's comment. I got something for your ribs, buddy.
I did like the rib comment. Hey, admin does it every day. They know what's best. Yeah, admin. And again, it's where that character really came from. Was like
this guy is a perfect real world example of that character.
It's what's weird too is it's like we're all grown ass adults. Like you're sitting in a room.
Not according to that guy.
No, like I've sat where I was the most rookie officer, and I was like 28 years old.
Yeah.
Right. We all have bachelor's degrees. We all have training. We're all in a very busy side of town. It's a very big city. We're all legitimately professional, CLIA certified, TCL certified, jiu-jitsu, whatever cops. Yeah. And you're going to have a grown man walk in there and be like, I don't understand why, like to get all butthurt about something that doesn't even apply to all of us. And they'll be like real passive aggressive. And if it's like not policy, but they're going to threaten us with making it policy, they're like, I don't appreciate that there's not use of force reports getting done if we're taking a rifle out of a vehicle. And then you'll always have a smart ass like me. So like if I'm taking it out of my vehicle to put it in my personal vehicle, is that a use of force report? And then everyone groans at you for being that guy. But
you guys think that's a joke, but he actually asked that question.
Yeah, I was a troll.
That was a real question that was asked.
I'm that asshole, but
I loved it.
But anyways, like it's
well, and just this guy's response to like any question of authority is so ridiculous. Like,
yeah, and it's part of it's ego. The other part of it's like literally it's the way it's always been done or whatever. It's a really toxic environment, and the fact that like morale as it is kind of a hard thing to like nurture and protect. It's kind of like if your morale is like a little blade of grass that you're like trying to water, he's like a tiller. Yeah. Just going over all of it, destroying your piece of grass and the next person's piece of grass.
Not just destroying it, uprooted it.
Dude, it's wild.
Gone.
So anyways, okay, boys, I gotta disappoint my wife. I gotta go disappoint my wife.
Hell
Good
yeah.
luck. Shout out everybody on TikTok and on YouTube collectively. Give Sean a baby Jesus in the chat for not trying to disappoint.
I'm telling you, you play us in the background and your wife will no longer be disappointed.
I'll tell you what, my dude. Just let us. Love is in the air. I gotta be careful about singing. Producer Juan's gonna get mad.
Oh boy.
Bruce Almighty. The Steve Carell and Evan on Evan Almighty. I like Bruce Almighty. Okay, we'll go. When working around a vehicle gets to be such a mess. Jesus.
Should probably like put it in park.
Yeah,
but if you're getting shot at,
hey man,
you know.
How about it? Creating distance. But imagine if you tripped while that happened.
I like this comment. The Explorer said, "Fuck this, I'm out."
They're not. This isn't an OIS, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's reloading. Oof.
Yeah. So when they
it is an OIS.
When they come up to him, he starts shooting through the windshield.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
It's just a crappy video.
Jesus, dude.
Come on with your videos, guys. It's this was in 2021. Get us some clear videos.
Hey, the training looks pretty good here though. These guys were able to like disengage, like move, put some like material in between them and
they moved with the vehicles.
Hey, man, they made it work.
Yeah.
Bet I'm now streaming you guys in the TV with jazz music playing the.
Hell yeah.
Right?
I don't know about all that, but.
So, anyways, yeah, that sucks about that. I hope those guys were okay. And
there's not a whole lot of information, but
not to sound insensitive, but I hope the driver of that Dodge was not okay. Let's see. What up, my man? Hey, what's going on? Cowboy Carter 8. Shout out from YouTube to TikTok. Travis Frank SEFP. He says 40 or 9, and we're referring to church pews. So if I'm referring to church pews,
yeah, we can't
for my TikTok audience. If I had to guess the caliber of my church pew shoes, if I was going to go between a 90 or a 40 caliber one, or if I was going to decide to go to Europe and measure it in millimeters, I would go with 9 millimeters for my church pews. Mostly because I can have more capacity in said church pews at the 9 millimeter measurement versus the 40 caliber measurement. Europeans have more people that go to church. They need it because they don't have freedom. From efficacy of doing its job, they're about the same given the types of craftsmanship put into said church pews and the creative chemistry put into said manufacturing.
Man.
That was pretty good, right? I avoided that. Producer Juan, are you satisfied?
Yeah.
How do I tell my wife?
I hate TikTok.
Sean, he said, "How do I tell my wife I've already arrived from you singing?" Just tell her it's round 2 for you.
Yeah.
So, just tell her it's round 2 for you. That's all it is.
Clean up and get back in there, champ.
Hey, my guy, yeah.
Come on.
Just think about me, and it should come right back. Anyways, we're getting on to the next. Since I'm sad.
Oh boy.
Okay, we'll keep going.
I don't want for that.
I do not actually.
Well, at this point, I'm recording.
That's not how you spell border.
Border. Border. That's like I
I
spelled
have to
it.
stop the recording right now.
What?
Sir.
Why is that? How's it going, man?
Alright. Can I see the phone?
No.
Huh?
No, you need a warrant for that.
I do not.
It's true.
Actually.
That's true.
Oh,
You do.
at this point, I'm recording you.
Okay, you're gonna have to stop the recording right
Why is that?
Oop.
Sir.
Why is that?
Sir, you have to stop the recording because you can't record under an inspection.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You can't record under an inspection.
for that.
So
I do not.
now I haven't worked on the border patrol. I didn't do any of that nonsense. But that being said, I don't know if they have special rules against that. And I can kind of understand the argument as far as like ask, tell, make. Let's say legitimately he can't do that because this is like a federal building. Because a lot of times, like with federal buildings, like you can't do digital recordings of the inside. I know, like for instance, in like courts, you can't do digital recordings of the inside. And again, like your rights kind of begin and end there. My only issue with this is within the interior of their own vehicle.
Yeah.
And this is a public access kind of causeway. Like this is a publicly paid for freeway. So unless there's like a sliver.
Well, they may have got pushed over to be inspected.
Sure.
Because he
And if
does
that's the
say
case,
they're doing an
yeah.
inspection.
So
And
that
he
I,
says
that
they
I
can't
kind of,
record during the inspection, which I mean, I guess I kind of get. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's much better ways to go about it than
Yeah. And so
unsuccessfully snatching the phone from the guy's hand.
The phone is way less of a danger to you than everything else is, to be honest. Like if I saw like a furtive movement, maybe I can understand his reaction to something like that.
If you have a phone in your hands, you don't have a gun in your hands. So by
that's kind
all
of what
means,
I was getting at. So like,
record
if
me.
he's gonna pull him from the car and stuff like that, I'm all for it. Like I don't know if there's anything particularly egregious about what he did because I don't know the context of the video.
just looks
However, I will say this, and this is I every single time we see videos like this that are intentionally uncontextualized. Let's be honest. Always play to the camera. Always, no matter what you do. I have literally been using force, telling someone, "Sir, please stop." Like really calm too.
Yeah.
Sir, please stop. Sir, please stop. This is like and I've counted before. Like this is the 15th time I've asked you to comply. I've even said, guy fully handcuffed. This is we were talking about OCing a guy that's handcuffed, and he wouldn't get in the back of a patrol car. There was a whole bigger story for that, but he was actively resisting getting in a patrol car after he was already handcuffed.
Which story? Because there's so many of those.
Yeah, I know. But a rookie led a person out of a
that
backseat.
one. I knew you were talking about that one.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'll cover. That'll be a Patreon
rookies.
story. But anyways, I told him out loud. I said, if you do not get inside the vehicle, I will have to escalate force to do that. I said that. He's like, no, you won't. I was like, then how are we getting you in the car? We can't stand here for eternity.
No, you
And
won't.
so his uncontextualized video would have just simply been me saying, if you do not get in the vehicle, you're already handcuffed. You're already arrested. Like there's no walking or talking your way out of this.
Yeah,
I will have to escalate force to gain
You're not
compliance.
detained. You're arrested.
Yeah,
We're
and
past
so
it.
like it was a play towards that camera because you make it to where they have to cut the smallest of clips to try to make it seem remotely sinister, because you're going to be judged by that. Even if he's completely innocent, even if he doesn't do anything wrong, and they do an IA investigation, he's exonerated. It doesn't matter because you might run into somebody on the street that recognizes you from this and only sees you as this. And you're just kind of weaponizing.
Well, it doesn't even have to
people.
be you.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting
There's
at. Yeah.
50,000 likes, 4,000 comments, 388 shares.
You're just adding.
And I bet most of them are like, "Wow, look at this shitty cop." Like,
yeah. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't see anything particularly like of all the things that we've watched. This is not particularly egregious. But
there's better ways to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask Tell makes a thing, and I totally get that. So I'm not going to dunk on him for that. But if you're going to reach, go get it. And then if you're going to, like, I'm more concerned about getting him out of the car if I'm going to be doing that. And him getting removed from the car shouldn't really be contingent on him videotaping or not, in my personal opinion. But I don't know the laws specifically.
Honestly, if the car's getting inspected, they should be out of the car anyways.
Yeah. So
who cares if they record you while they get out of the car?
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. So.
Do you have another one?
Yeah, we got a couple YouTube videos. So.
Hey.
Taylor said Vina is watching our live stream, so say hi to Vina.
Well, what's going on, Vina? I'm hoping you both are having a safe and wonderful evening.
They're snowed in.
I can. Oh, that's right. They're snowed in just like we are.
Well, yeah, down there.
So hopefully they caught all of the inappropriate things me and Sean were talking about.
Maybe. I mean,
maybe. Let's see. Sean was saying, "I need you to say round 2, fight," in like 30s. I missed the cutoff. Round 2.
It's probably round 3 at this point for Sean.
Hey, for sure. It would have had to been like round 15 for me, my dude. It's only been like 5 whole minutes, my guy.
So
it's a long time.
This was in Tennessee.
Okay.
And
I remember this one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Police Activity for sharing this video.
Drop it, brother. Let me help. Landon, come on. Landon, come on, brother. Let me help you out. You will not end up in jail.
See, look, let me help.
Landon, look, hey, look at me. Look at me. Landon, look at me. No, don't do it. Don't do it. No, do not do it, brother. Landon, don't let me go home with this today,
Pause real
brother,
quick.
please.
So I will say this about this scenario, because some people might dunk on this situation. There's only one person talking to him, to my understanding, or at least from this perspective.
For the most part, you can hear a couple other voices like chime in, like, "Come on, man!" But there's only one guy who's actually trying to talk and like get through to.
That's indicative of very good training. They've clearly been briefed on this before.
Well, and I think there's 3 separate agencies here, so it's pretty impressive that they're working together this well.
Yeah, de-escalation, the magic word of de-escalation, part of that is effective communication, and that really can only happen with one person at a time. So I'm glad that they are doing that. It is a smidge hard. This reminds me a ton of Crossbow Boy. A ton of Crossbow Boy.
Yeah, at least you weren't on the highway, though.
Agreed. 100%. Yeah. And we also knew to what level this guy was armed, or my guy was armed.
Yeah.
This is a big unknown.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, and you probably can't, like, if you're watching on a phone, but he has his right hand in his pocket, like, alluding to something.
You have to read all these. Yes, I do have to read all of these. Yes. Just say to be continued. This was the one that Michael shared he shared this in the Discord. If you want access to our Discord, join our Patreon account. It's as little as $1 a month. Anyways, now that I'm done with the plug. So anyways, the establishing an effective means of communication and then trying to do what you can to get his mind off of the situation that he's in. The unfortunate reality of this is he's got 9 men pointing guns at him. That's kind of hard to get your head around. And then obviously they're on the highway.
Well, especially if you're already in a mental health crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And then
getting someone out of that's pretty hard. This is way more common than people realize. Oftentimes we're pretty lucky, and you don't. I don't want to say you have people that want attention, but you have people that just simply want to be heard. And typically, after being heard or having someone to talk to, we're able to get them care. And him saying that the guy's not going to jail is 100% accurate. As long as he hasn't done any crime outside of this, if you are in this situation where you've made statements about wanting to harm yourself, and it's elicited a police presence, even though this seems pretty egregious because you pose a very deadly threat to the officers that are here trying to save you, you're not going to jail for having a mental health crisis. Even if it's creating this huge hoopla where they're shutting down a highway and all this stuff, they're going to get you help. In Texas, it's called an NED, or a notification of emergency detention. I've heard some people call it an app. I don't know why, but I've heard that nomenclature. And then I know in other states they have similar like statutes put in place for people that are if I can ascribe your incident to an acute mental stressor, some sort of side of or some sort of chronic mental health issue that you have, you're going to be placed on the detainer to go see help, not to just go to jail. You're still taken into custody, so don't be weirded out. If this happens to be you in the future, I hope I help you with this. You will be placed in handcuffs. Police officers put everyone in handcuffs. Just feel that way about it. But you're not going to jail. And when they're saying that, they're not saying that to lie to you. They're telling you that to give you a reassurance. I probably did, I don't know, 200 of these. Like personally, I participated in probably
not to this extent.
No, not like this. No, this was pretty rare. Producer Juan making fun of my dyslexia again. Yeah. Anyways,
I had one on the southern side of town on a certain highway that had a very tall overpass.
Oof.
Yeah, we were out there for C shift started and midnight's finished it. And
Jesus.
It was
How did
a
it end?
long night. They went to the hospital.
Yeah, that's good.
So
that's real good.
But there was there was no weapon involved or anything like that. They were just standing by the edge.
Vina, if she watched this, I dropped off William Moore to her.
Jeez.
I found him in a
out there,
parking lot after being allegedly attacked by somebody in a baseball bat.
Oh,
I could
that's
not
right.
confirm or deny that. But
is that when he said he wouldn't ride in the ambulance because it had like an out headlight or something?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It was a whole drama thing, and I do apologize after the fact that I left her with that guy.
Yeah.
He was a huge pain in the ass. Sorry if I just doxed him on live internet, but whatever. He doesn't have the internet, so
I was gonna say, who's gonna go find him?
Yeah, no kidding.
Good luck.
Anyways, we'll keep going.
Come on. Landon, look at me, bro. I'm talking to you. Hey.
They got a helicopter and everything out there.
Yeah, dude.
I gave you my word. My word means something, okay? I keep it. You will not go to jail today. I promise you, you will not go to jail today. Whatever you're worried about, we can fix it. Let's get you some help, though. This is not the answer. You and I know it. You don't want to hurt me. I know you don't. And you know I damn sure don't want to hurt you. Right?
Come on, man.
Come on, brother. Just put your hand up, drop the knife, and let's figure this out.
So, pause it real quick. So I will say this to anybody that's doing any level of crisis intervention. We're pretty lucky. We got some pretty decent crisis intervention training. But while I will say from personal experience, our overwhelming urge in these situations is to try to talk to them and to try to empathize with them. That's not going to work. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work. And maybe we can have some people. Roy Boy said he's going to jail today. No, like I said before, you don't typically go to jail for these types of things unless there was an offense committed in commission of this, and they're still going to do a mental retainer on
Hey,
it.
listen, spoiler alert. He doesn't go to jail.
Yeah, he's also, spoiler alert for those that are watching this, he does not. I remember this clip because Michael did share it. He's not going to jail.
Yeah.
What you need to do is try to find an opportunity to listen. Give them an open opportunity to communicate, because the more they talk, the more it can they kind of de-escalate themselves. Part of it's venting. It's why, no matter what happens, if you have something really frustrating happen to you, you want to tell everyone that'll listen to you about it.
Yeah.
Part of that is a coping mechanism. And so as much as, yes, if you feel like there's no communication happening, you need to keep attempting to do it. But you telling him you're trying to empathize, or you talking at him is oftentimes not nearly as effective as if you can get him to engage with you. And he's trying that, because he's trying at different angles to try to create some sort of line of communication with him. So he's actually doing a really good job from an officer standpoint. But oftentimes there's very few people who will ever be in this situation. But if you're an officer watching this, or if you're wanting to be an officer and watching this is some food for thought, so that you can start to develop a script in your mind for what you would do if you were in this situation. Because once you're there, you're gonna get stuck in a loop and just keep saying the same thing. Drop it, show me your hand, show me your hand. You see that super often, and
and he's off duty. Like,
yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah,
he wasn't even in like his regular patrol mindset.
Yeah,
he's off duty and he's just in this. So
yes, Sean, it's exactly where he's going today. Yes, Sean.
Oh boy,
I will not say that for TikTok. We'll keep
going.
Landon, come on, brother. Let's do the right thing here, okay?
So pause.
Let's get you some help, brother, please.
So the other thing I kind of want to point out is you'll notice how he's starting to get into these fixed stairs, and that he's still staying in this very quartered posture when he's not really relinquishing that idea of keeping his hand in his pocket. Some people will call it like the 1,000-yard stare. It's a hard thing to explain to somebody that's never seen it in person. There's a reason why these officers aren't approaching this guy, and all of his body language indicates that he's still in a very comfort. It's kind of, I always give you
he also
examples
has
like
a box cutter in his hand.
That's what I'm getting at. And so a lot of people will talk about like, well, you know, they could have gone up and tried to disarm him and stuff like that. If he's still very much a threat to these officers that are here, and
He's got
I think it's
a
unreasonable
box cutter in
to
one
assume-
hand and his other hand's in his pocket. Like,
Well, and you
there's
don't
no way
know if
you're
he's got
gonna-
any other type of arms on himself.
There's no way you're
So,
going up to that guy. Like,
Yeah,
not
food,
not in that
food for thought.
position.
Yeah, food for thought. If this guy doesn't want to be approached, but he's willing to talk to you, something I used to like to do is get them to raise their shirt so that you can see their waistline, just to kind of verify that they don't have something at least holstered. And oftentimes, too, one of the things I told them to do is like, hey, are you left-handed or right-handed? And then 9 times out of 10, the right. It's like, take your left hand and pull your pockets out. He's like, do it slowly. Obviously, don't do anything stupid, but you can get them in a situation where they can at least articulate that they're not armed, and then you can kind of change your game plan for that type of stuff. But that being said, this is all bad. All of this is very, very bad. It's a very bad situation. He doesn't think this is live. Say hi to Scooter 54321. What's going on, Scooter? It is live. It's live through YouTube / through TikTok. So shout out. If you have any law enforcement related questions on TikTok, put it, and producer Juan will put it in the chat for us and we'll answer them. I'd give him a hug for a new department. Wow. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Sean.
There's probably some other
Goodness
avenues
gracious.
you could go besides that to get to
I
a
will
new
also say
department.
this. Here is where pepper ball guns, bean bags, stuff like that. If you think that all he has is an edged weapon, it's a at this distance, a taser's not going to work from this distance. But
and you don't want
have
them to. We've seen a video of edge weapons and tasers. So
yeah, they don't work great. And like
well,
I said,
I mean they do. It worked pretty well.
Oh, it did on that one. That's true. I forgot about that. But when you have an edged weapon and you're getting tased, it becomes a hazard to you as opposed to everybody else.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, if you're on TikTok and you're watching this, ask us questions. Scooter 54321, thinking that it's not live.
That's all we're asking, bro. No, don't, Landon. No, don't do it, Landon.
This is a bad.
No. Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Landon.
Come on, man.
Don't do this, bro.
Seriously,
Bad
come on.
history.
Let's end it, man.
Let's end it, Landon. Just drop the knife, brother. Let's help you out.
Let's go home. Let's go home, Landon. You don't want to do that.
That lunge is.
Come on, Landon. Don't want to do that.
Landon, don't. Please, brother.
Come on, man.
Hey, I've been out here for 30 minutes talking to you, bro. Let's go home. Let's go home, Landon. Please drop it, brother. This is not the answer. You know, I don't want to hurt you.
Come on, Landon.
Landon, don't. Hey, we don't want to hurt you. We don't want to shoot
That
you.
officer's not even in the
And you
holster,
don't wanna
out of the
hurt us.
holster there.
He was. He holstered up when he started
I got
moving
kids to go to. I
forward.
got a family to go home to. And I was on my way doing that. But my God put me here so I can help you out today. And you know it. And you damn sure know it. I know it. Come on, brother. Just drop it.
Arms got tired.
Yeah,
Landon,
that's a
please,
thing.
brother, don't do this. Please don't. Please.
Pause it real quick.
You've been talking to me the whole.
The other thing too, and everyone will talk about high speed, low drag, like pistol training. Hold a gun out in front of you for 30 minutes.
Good luck.
And then try to hit something after that. It's such a, after like 2 minutes, it's sucky. But like
I was going to say, do it for 3 minutes in a high stress situation.
Dude, the handful of times that I've had to go to low ready just because my arms got tired in these situations, no less than at least 12, probably. Yeah. That I was stuck in that long of a standoff where you're like, oh. So this is when it's nice to have a rifle because you can do like the elbow rest.
Set it on the hood of the car.
At least he's about to have hit. Wow. Okay. Anyways, we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Sean's gonna get me in trouble.
Do it for me. I give you my word. I will help you out.
TikTok's probably not going to like this anyways. So
No, probably not.
Okay. Look, here, take them off. Come on, brother. That makes you feel better. Take the sunglasses off. No big deal.
My sunglasses off. Eye to eye.
I've been talking, brother. Look, I don't even have a damn vest on, and I still stopped at the interstate because I want you to go home today. I don't want
As
you
an
to end up
advisory
inside
for
interstate.
TikTok, this is a
Nobody wants
police
that.
body cam.
This folks right here, they got kids in the car.
So
Look at the kids
professionals
over there just
doing at a
sitting by.
professional capacity.
yeah.
Don't give them that show, brother. Okay, please. They're gonna have to live with this too, not just me and you. Please, just drop it, brother. That's all you gotta do. I promise you. Get your hand out of your pocket, drop the knife, and I guarantee you, I will have an ambulance here to help you out. You will not go to jail if that's what you're worried about.
Nope. Come on. Not taking anybody to jail that day. Not doing that.
Come on, Landon. Please, help me help you.
If you can catch it before it does
That's
its
all I'm
thing,
asking for.
TikTok's sake.
Come on, brother, just drop the knife. Get your hand out of your pocket. If that's a gun, what you got in there, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll fix it. I'm not too worried about that right now. I'm worried about you.
Pause it one more
I'm
time.
worried about you, Landon.
So notice that again, he's continuing to change the topic on he's trying to find something to engage him. He went from it being about each other, he tried to make the relationship between himself and the individual. He then tried to make the just a tie from like man to man. You also heard him talk about himself. He's trying to put the actions or the consequences of his actions more incumbent on him. He's like, hey, you're even putting me in this situation. And because he's not getting a response, he's continuing to switch to something differently. He started talking about the kids that were stuck on the highway, because obviously they've had to shut down the highway for this. He starts talking about the other officers involved there. He starts fishing for, hey, well, if you're worried about going to jail, like, dude, you're not going to jail. I'm just trying to get you out. All of these subject changes, again, it's indicative of a pretty experienced officer, A. But B, it's also, again, when people talk about the magic de-escalation button, he's doing everything you could possibly ask from someone to do, and he's getting zero response. He's being absolutely stonewalled. And honestly, in this situation, it's because you have somebody that's pretty committed to their situation here. Like, this person does not want to walk away from this. So, hold on, stand by. Johnny Cash 70 says, hats off to the guy for stopping while off duty. Dude, he's a better man than most people, dude. That's pretty insane. To be off duty, no radio, no nothing, to go out there and do that, that's pretty incredible. And to also like contribute like this. He's giving this guy by far the best opportunity to walk away from this, and he's off duty, so we'll keep going.
Probably not his city, so he's like, hey, I don't have to take care of any of this.
Oh, jeez. It's no paperwork. Okay.
Well, use of force. His gun's out.
Yeah.
So.
Come on, brother, just drop it. Come on. I know you can do it. I know you want to do the right thing here, and this is your chance. Landon. Come on, brother. Landon, please, brother, don't do it. Don't do it. No, Landon.
So you get the
obviously,
gist.
Yeah, and then you can kind of infer he makes a shooting position with an object that's metallic. You can't expect somebody to put themselves in harm's way for something like that.
Yeah, they never showed what it was, but they kept calling it a round cylindrical object.
So we know that he had a box cutter. Obviously, you can't know what's in his waistline if he's got other weapons for that.
The initial stop, he pulled the box cutter on officers and then ran up to the highway. So
the other thing is, initially we had kind of talked about having a little bit of heartburn about them being in kind of like a U formation for this. But I will say this: they cannot really afford to let this guy run up or down the highway because it would expose the public to more. And they're using themselves quite literally as human shields to make sure that their backstops are still good. So, like, the officers on the left side won't use the highway as a backstop because obviously you don't want to do that because there's officers physically there.
Yeah.
So, as much as I had heartburn about it the first time, it actually makes a lot more sense looking at it now from the sense of, hey, let's keep this person corralled and then make sure if this does escalate, unfortunately to the degree that it did.
And you saw that guy on the edge as he moved up or went around, he put his gun away because he was like, well, now I can't. There's no point in me shooting.
Roy Boy said pause game was on point. Bravo. So shout out to Bill for his pause game being on point. And producer Juan says the pause game was godly. And I'm going to say that Sean said something about blue balls.
You're welcome, TikTok.
You're welcome, TikTok. China, don't give us the pee-pee whack.
Yeah.
Hey, do you recognize Intergraph?
Dude, I was just thinking that. I was like, wow.
So this MDC
they're in a Tahoe.
Yeah.
It looks just like our old POV.
Yeah,
literally.
This is definitely I have seen this more than once in my life and on patrol.
Intergraph looks exactly the same on the same computer. Like,
although I'm going to shame him a little bit because this is on daytime mode. It's got like a nighttime feature.
Oh yeah. Well, they are. This is like daytime though. We started when the sun was up. You don't know that it's day shift.
Yeah, we don't know that it's day shift.
Oh,
we'll keep going.
It's 5:53, dude. This could have been us.
This could have been us. You're right. We didn't get off till 7 in the morning.
No, I'm talking about when we were on C shift.
Oh, that's true.
5:53 p.m.
Oh, p.m.
Yeah.
1700. I see.
Yeah, 17:53.
Okay.
So
let's go.
Like a real one or a fake one?
The tow trucks, bro.
So they're at no. It's a security. It's Walmart, and this is the security who goes around, like drives around the Walmart parking lot. And they just told the officers that the guy pointed a gun at him.
I wonder if this security guard graduated from dust training. Probably. Anyways, we'll keep going.
Maybe.
We'll keep going.
Hey, let me see your hands. Show me your hands. Put your hands up. Put your hands up now.
It's educational TikTok. Just chill. These are officers and the commissioner.
We don't. I'm not going to try and risk this one because it goes pretty quick. But he pulls that hand out of that backpack.
Real fast?
Yes.
The guy ended up being armed or no?
Yes.
Oof.
Yeah.
So I'm going to point this out. That's how fast those guys had to make that. He's parked. This is what? We're 20 seconds into this?
Just 20 seconds of them getting out of the car and then the security guard saying, he pointed a gun at me. Because chances are they didn't know that before they got here.
Well, and also I want to point out that, like, this guy waited for them to get closer.
Yes.
And then did this.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's some short straws out there. Scooter being a troll in the comments. Well, Scooter, enjoy being a troll, my guy.
Why don't you scoot on along, bud?
Why don't you scoot on along? I wonder if the security guard is also a bounty hunter. Probably. I have a bounty hunter story.
Oh, dude, with that Dodge Ram pickup with that
100%
back rack there, yeah.
The designated Walmart police collar. Yeah, it's kind of awful. That backstop is not awesome. But I mean,
they do a good job.
You guys can kind of fill in. He said, Sean says, "I'll fight Scooter." I swear.
Let's be honest.
Fine.
Scooter's probably 12. Sean, it's fine.
Let's be nice. It would be a hate crime because he's probably MHMR.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying, can't do that. You know, I'm looking out.
Yeah, we're looking out for Sean.
Do you have anything else here?
No, that's it.
Okay. If you guys have any police-related questions while I do my outro, put them in there, and if I see them before we bounce off, I'll answer them. Kind of my big takeaway, I think, from all the stuff that we saw today is, like, when people talk about training deficiencies when it comes to law enforcement, and especially like the big magic word is like de-escalation, is like, how would you have de-escalated that last call?
You're not gonna.
Like, you get called and you have 20 seconds of being on scene before a guy pulls what's an actual gun out and shoots at you. And then let's juxtapose that against the last call where the guy only had a box cutter, but he pulled a furtive movement with a metallic object in his hand.
Yeah.
In a shooting position. Like,
and in both situations, they've made their mind up.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, they're committed to violence, so no amount of de-escalation or giving orders, like that magical word, and they always say it, and I'm like, I don't think you know how this actually works in practice. Like, there's a lot of times where like it's tried and it's tried and it's tried to like nauseum, and you'll have dudes ripping guns off of dudes' belts, or you'll have like there's so many of these situations where it's like, show me where de-escalation works here, and it's not from a lack of de-escalation training. It's just like a lack of like. There's all of these cursory things. You have to know a little bit about psychology. You have to have a little bit of experience in doing, crisis intervention training. I guarantee you, most psychologists, if you took like the most incredible psychologist in the world, it's a clinical one, that he deals with people, he sits in chairs and talks to them, that if you said, hey, this guy's suicidal, go talk him down, but he might be armed and he might try to kill you, that they would handle it poorer than they would in a controlled setting where they don't think that this person's going to do that. As Chris says, I'll say unaliving by cop is totally a thing. I can't tell you how many times, and it was weird because the 20th year of this millennium had a weird effect on people's psychology when it came to law enforcement. And there was a lot of times where a seemingly innocuous situation would escalate to, kill me. Like, I had so many people legitimately say the phrase like, kill me to that, and I'm like, for what? It'd be something like a loud noise complaint, and I'd show up and they would be
kinds of aggravated.
They were so put off by the fact that I was engaging them in some way, shape, or form, even if it was, and oftentimes I was like, bro, I'm just here to show up so they don't get mad that they called 911 and someone didn't show up and do something. And it would escalate to that point, and that's unique to law enforcement. Nobody asks like they're like, orthodontist, kill me, or like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody, there's no other job in the world where you're faced with that.
You
issue.
yell that at the Walmart greeter.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, it's an odd, weirdly unique. Like the media's almost fetishized this idea of unaliving by cop, and it's a hard thing to kind of combat when you're a kid with a GED and a few months of academy training. Like, I don't know, man. And then on top of that, even if you got all the training, having the crisis intervention experience, because it's not, because like you can have all the training in the world, but until you're faced with the reality of it made me sick. Crossbow boy, I'll tell that story later. I'll do it in another live, but I had a guy that was trying to unalive himself via cop. He had a crossbow in his hands. He'd already tried to do it. He had pulled this crossbow arrow out of himself and reloaded it 3 different times. And at one point, he goes to go reach for it. And to this day, it's seared. I know exactly what it looked like. My brain has seared it into my mind. I remember seeing my sights. I remember aiming at the guy. I remember thinking about like marksmanship fundamentals. I remember thinking like, I'm fucked. I was in field training. I was in C phase of field training. So that's like what? A month and a half into field training, maybe 2 months into field training.
Just over 2 months.
I was like, my career's over. I'm going to end it before I'm even like graduated from field training.
Let's be honest, it would have been over.
100%. Oh, 100%.
Even had you been 100% in the clear, you would have got fired.
And you know what? I still almost got written up, even though I tased this dude from 21 feet, which didn't work. The 21-foot rule bullshit. Like, it didn't work at all. Even though I ran through a marsh, tackled this guy to keep him from re-grabbing his crossbow and saving this dude's life, and I got written up for throwing my taser since I didn't have time to holster it. I literally, they deliberated writing me up for that. So
that's when you knew.
That's literally like, I'm not even out of field training. And the reason they didn't write me up was because I was still in field training.
Yeah, because they
had
can't.
My corporal, they had my corporal talk to me about it.
It was either nothing or fired. There was no in between.
Let's see. I was told there'd be a help bit. I guess there was. What happened? TikTok shut it down. Bert, you Scooter reported because he was butthurt. Wow. Josh can read my comments now. Yes, I can read the comments now since TikTok went and smacked our peepees. Scooter.
Oh, they blocked us from going live.
Of him in a baby stroller with Elmo slippers on.
That's I already looked him up.
Oh, fun. So anyways, bye TikTok. I'm sorry I couldn't see you guys anymore. But anyways, kind of like I was saying, I can say suicide now. I don't have to worry about that. I don't know. It's until the media stops sensationalizing it, and until people stop trying to make the relationship between the public and law enforcement so contentious. I don't know if that gets any better. And dude, just depending on how short that straw is, dude. Like literally, I only had a career past that because that guy didn't move like one more inch towards that thing, or that like I didn't trip and fall on my way to tackling him. Like that's how small the margin of error is in law enforcement. And I was lucky. I don't even want to say it was like me being a badass. It was literally luck.
100%.
That I didn't walk away from that. It was literally. You could talk about it being in God's hands. You can talk about it being in. But I had 3 or 4 PTOs near me, but because I was the dumbass that got closer to him than anybody else, the decision fell on me as a 2-month rookie to go and make that decision in field training. And that's stupid. That was super dumb of me to even put myself in that situation because I wasn't prepared for it, to be honest. And I got lucky that it ended up the way that it did. Because even if I did the exact same behavior, let's say he was stronger. Let's say he got the upper hand on it. Let's say somebody's gun fell out of their holster or something stupid. He still would have got smoked. It still would have been incumbent on me since I was the one that initiated contact.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing. I had legit nightmares about that call for a while. I remember because I showed my wife the body cam of that like a few weeks after it happened. I remember thinking I was fine. I remember holding it like my hand started shaking because I realized like how close of a call that was. And I don't know, it's just different. TikTok is I'm gonna
trash.
Use my imagination for what he's saying with the nail polish.
TikTok's trash.
So, anyways, TikTok pee-pee whacked this. We can blame Juan this time. So,
yeah.
Out of all the things that I said, it was Juan that got us banned. So, shout out to Juan.
I think it's safe to say that TikTok's never going to like these live streams.
Yeah. So, shout out to Juan for getting us in trouble. On TikTok, you guys throw baby Jesus in the chat for him. If you like the content that you're seeing here on YouTube and want to see it more, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Turn on the little bell notifications. Get your McAfee up to date according to this thing here.
Hey man, antivirus is real.
Yeah, I believe our TikTok is still live, so if you want to see our latest posts on there, we got a bunch of stupid skits on there. We have a bunch of that's more of our satirical site. If you want to see, we're going to be going live again. We're going to be some more Let's Plays next week. And so if you want to be part of that, you will have to join our Patreon. It's as little as $1 a month, ya bums. And that gives you access to our Discord. Our Discord is how we organize all of that stuff. That's literally how Michael gets on like 90% of our Let's Plays. He was our very first Patreon sub. And it gets direct access. We talk on that Discord all the time. We can keep up with it, and we can kind of bring this to more people. We have some plans. I'll announce it here because I'm trying to put the feelers out there for it. We do have some plans on doing some gear reviews and some like super long-term plans. If we can get enough support on the channel and enough resources together, we're going to try to start providing some of this training in a place. I'm going to try to get trainers and accreditations and certifications that hopefully we can either lower the cost of training or if not, like create scholarships to get officers training that I think will keep them safer. Same thing with like trying to figure out how to write memos to get or give presentations to police departments to get them to convert over from their stupid policies to better ones. We're going to start to try to work on some of that stuff. It's all a very slow work in progress. We all have full-time lives outside of this, so it's kind of hard to keep up with this, but we try to. Like I said, we try to come up with content. We go live at least twice a week, and we post at least about once a week for our produced stuff. So thanks, Producer Juan, for editing some stuff. I think we have we have The Rookie. I think we have 2 episodes of The Rookie that should be coming out. What else did we do?
Officer Jenny, I think, is going on Patreon.
Hey, Officer Jenny is going to be coming in hot on Patreon. So for our Patreon subs that are watching, you guys get to enjoy that.
That one probably won't make it onto YouTube.
No, YouTube. The Pokemon people are really into pee-pee whacking that one. Whoever owns Funimation or whoever owns that. What else did we have? If TikTok will let us post, we'll have some more stuff coming on there. We'll see how that goes. We'll triage that. here in a little bit. And like I said, let us know. We are playing the new Ready or Not update. That was pretty awesome, but it was kind of an ass kicking. So I'll probably get on that later. So with or without Michael's help, we totally got smashed last time we played that. That was a very unconsensual encounter. And so I'm gonna get on Steam so I can play. Sean, bro, I would love it. We get to hear your beautiful voice, and then just tell your wife we will serenade her if she'll let you get on Steam and play with us.
That's right.
So, anyways, without any other further questions, goodbye to our YouTube audience only because TikTok's gone. Thank you for riding like 8-man with us today. We got a bunch of people in the chat today.
That's right.
Let me give special thank yous to anybody that asked for stuff. Let's see. Michael was here. Chris was here. Sean was here. Michael was here. Kristen, the Badge Bunny, was here. Some dude from Russia, some Russian bot was here. Shout out to Russia. Stop invading Ukraine. Stop. Boom 11 was here. Shout out. He got here a little late, but he was here. Scrolling. Roy Boy was here, bro. Don't think I missed you. Another Russian bot was here. Stop invading Ukraine. Vladdy Daddy, go away. Bill made a comment. And of course, Sean was here, and producer Juan was over there, crushing our TikTok algorithm. So
that's fine.
But anyways,
TikTok doesn't deserve us.
Yeah, thank you for riding 15-man with us today. And until next time, we will see you later.